Yes, Amir, can you do a quick recap?
Yes, sir. First, we did 2D array.
Okay, we did two array class. Okay.
Yes. After that, we go for function.
Yeah.
Normal function called by value.
Scenario number one. What was that?
Scenario.
Caller and callee.
Yes. Caller and callee.
How many tasks did caller have in scenario one?
Caller have only one task,
That is
just
to
to manage.
call, right?
Yes, sir.
Then who would do the buy, cook and serve?
Callee. Callee, sir.
As in second scenario,
Second scenario.
the the caterer.
Caterer.
Caterer. This was hotel one, right?
Yes.
Taj Hotel.
Oh,
And second was the honest caterer.
yes, yes, sir.
Was the honest caterer. So in the honest caterer, we would buy, cook, and he would return to us, and we would serve, right?
Yes.
So now it was 2-2. So
Yes.
first scenario it was 1, 2, 3. Then it became 1, 2, 2, right?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Then the third scenario, dishonest caterer.
Dishonest gesture. Yes.
Sir, are you writing something on WordPad?
Yes,
What
I'm
I
writing
see?
notepad. Are you able to see?
Now
Yes.
we can see.
Now. Yes.
So the first scenario was dishonest caterer. What you would not trust him to buy, right?
Yes, sir.
So you would buy,
You, you buy and you serve. Yeah.
and give it to him. He would only cook
Yes.
it back and correct.
Yes, sir.
So these all aspects were covered. Now, did you try any function, any of the program with functions? Now, let's say if I tell you accept a number from user and check whether it is prime or not using function. Can you do it?
Mm, Not yet, sir, but I will try
You know the logic
because
of prime.
y- yes, sir.
So if we know the logic of prime, then it is just a matter of putting that in the function.
Yes, sir.
So if
That is the
we make one
yes.
class, okay, prime number, put the main in it. Okay. So what is the logic of number is prime or not? How to accept that from the user.
Canner. Yes,
Can
sir. Canner plus.
So this will help us to take the value from the user. Will prompt a message.
Enter a number. Yes. Please.
And whatever number he enters, I will take an integer n. Now, how will I check if this number is prime or not? I'll also take a counter,
Yes, sir.
initialize it to 0,
Yes.
run a for loop
For loop. Yes, sir.
from there. Correct?
Yes, sir.
And if while modding with each number, I get
With
0, that
0.
increase the counter.
Yes, sir.
And if after the for loop my counter is 2, that number is prime.
Yes. Otherwise, is dot prime.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
this is what we had done till now. Correct. Now, if I want to do the same task using function, what to do? Just
First,
take this code. Okay. Take this code now and put in a function called prime.
function prime. Yes.
Function called as public.
Right.
Now, who is doing the display? The function is doing the display, right?
Yes, sir.
So I can just call a function called check prime and give this entire task to him. And what will main do?
Just
Only calling.
calling. Yes.
Main will just do
Main.
call the function check prime. Now, as this is static, you have to add a keyword over here, static. Okay, and we'll have to close the class once. Okay, so this is what we did. Hold it over. Let's try to run this code. So if I say 7, it should tell number is prime. And if I run again, it, with 17 or with 18, not prime,
Yeah.
correct?
Yes, sir.
Now I want to convert this to scenario 2. I want to convert this to scenario 2, wherein the display part will be done by main. So what will we do? So what we will do is once it gets the answer, I will ask it to return the counter. Okay. So I'll keep
Yes.
on copying this code on our WhatsApp chat. Okay. Now what screen do you all see? Yes, guys. Which screen are you all seeing?
Sir, we are seeing the
Only
Eclipse.
Eclipse screen.
Yes, sir.
Right. So I have just sent on the group prime using scenario 1. Okay, now I want to check by scenario 2 that you don't display, the caller will display. So what I'll do is I'll take this part and I will tell this to return the count, return the,
Counter. Yes. Sir.
so what is counter? What type is the counter?
Integer.
So what changes will I make over here?
Integer. Yes, sir.
And here I can do over here integer n equals to, okay, or integer count. See now, you know what is scope of variable? Now this counter is declared in which curly bracket? This curly bracket, right?
Yes, sir.
Type of this variable is only between these two curly brackets. After outside this curly bracket, no one knows this counter. So I can take a similar variable over here also.
Yes, sir.
There will be no conflict. But if it is confusing initially, just keep it n. And then what
Yes.
we can do here is if
Counter equal to 0.
No.
N.
N equal to.
Yes.
if n, because here we have I'm
N.
using I'll be serving from my vessel, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so this I have now just converted this to which one? With window appearance, show view, we have to add console. Okay, enter number, so enter number 17 in this bracket. So this was by scenario 2. Now, can you show me by scenario 3? How will we do this?
the starting part of scanner SC new से to line number 17 to 20 is shifted to upside.
Okay, let's just check it. Okay, so what we will do in that, this part will come to
Upper side.
plumbing, right?
Yes, sir.
What we will go is, we'll go to the market, first get the number. And what,
Yes.
once we have got the number, we'll pass that to the checksum, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And then it will return us, it will take it in whatever, X. And then we will check whether X is equal to 2, correct? And this N which I am passing is of what type?
And
Integer.
Here it will come in int.
Yes.
And this person will directly take the data and start doing the job, correct? Now this function's job is just merely counting, checking the number is prime or not. We have relieved this function from any other responsibility now. You don't buy also, you don't serve also, you just cook. That is your task, correct?
Yes, sir.
So the entire responsibility has come of cooking only to this function. Now this function is just there to cook, and the remaining part we are doing it by ourselves. Now if I run it, okay. If I pass 8, okay. So this was by scenario number 3. Now in function we have call by value, call by reference. Are you aware of that? Are you aware of that?
No, sir.
So let me explain you all. Okay. Let me explain with the diagram what I mean by call by value, call by reference. Okay. So let's say someone from you all complete their graduation and then they get their mark sheet. And this I'm writing in red, the original mark sheet. Okay.
Sir, we can see only Eclipse screens.
Now
Yes, sir. No, it's
someone from you all has given the exam, and this is the original mark sheet. Okay. And the scores are over here. Subject A, let's say in C programming, he has got 98. In SQL, he has got 96. Java, let's say he gets 78, blah, 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 like this, original mark sheet. This person comes up to me and says, sir, I was supposed to get above 90 in Java also, but I guess my paper was not checked correctly. And see, I gave all the right answers, this and that. So I tell him, okay, give me a marker. I take a marker and I start scribbling on this original mark sheet. Will that person allow me? Will he allow me to scribble on the original mark sheet like this?
No.
Why no?
Well, actually, it will cause an issue for the authenticity of the mark sheet.
Yeah, so what we will do is, I will ask him, get a Xerox of this, correct?
Yes.
So he will give me a Xerox of this. So will the Xerox be same or not? Or will it be different? Will the details will be same or will be different?
So what is Xerox?
Xerox is a photocopy.
photocopy. Yes.
What is Xerox?
I mean, so it will be, the data will be the same, but it will be the different.
Yeah, but it will be different. That will be in black and white. So if I ask him, go and get me a black and white Xerox copy. So he will go there and the copy which he will get will be something like this. It will look same, right?
Right.
exactly same. Will not have any difference. And now if I do any scribbling on this, if I take a red marker and I start scribbling on this, any problem?
No.
Then after scribbling, I tear this. I tear this into pieces. I shred this. Any problem?
No.
I tear it. Will the original be impacted?
No.
So this is called by call by value. What is this called as?
All by value.
Okay, and all the primitives are passed by call by value. So whenever, see, in the scenario 3, when we call a function and pass some data in it, okay, this is called as parameterized. What is this called as?
Parameterized.
So scenario 1 and scenario 2, there were no parameters, correct?
Okay.
But in the scenario 3, I had to pass a parameter.
Parameter, yes, sir.
So this is called as parameterized calling. Okay. And this parameterized calling is of two types. One, it is called by value, and second, it is called by reference.
All by what?
Reference. You see my screen?
I can see, sir, WordPad, Paint.
Why is it lagging today? Now?
Now I can see the Eclipse, sir.
Yeah. So
Yes, sir.
when I'm passing this n, so when I call a function and pass some value in it, that is called as what?
Parameterized calling.
When I call a function and don't pass any parameter. So in the first two scenarios, we just called like this, right? So what is this
So
called?
such check by, value is basically the original one, and call by reference is the Xerox copy.
No. I'll come to that. There are two different ways. The original and Xerox is a part of call by value only. Both are part of call by value. This is different. I'll come to this. So when I call a function and don't pass any parameter, what is it called as? Yes, guys?
Sir, call by value.
No, when I call a function and don't pass any parameter to it, it is called
Non-parameterized calling.
Or-
non-parameterized function, right? You are calling a non-parameterized function.
Here, what we are referring with parameterized.
I can understand.
N is the parameter.
Okay.
You see the difference between these two. Forget the LHS. Just see the RHS. So when I write check prime and this bracket, this is empty.
Right, sir.
And when I write check prime and this, is that bracket empty?
No.
When the bracket contains something, it is called as parameterized calling.
Okay.
And when the bracket is empty, is called non-parameterized calling. Okay.
Got it, sir. Yes, sir.
Now parameterized calling is of two types. What are they?
Call by value and call by reference.
Yeah. So that is what I'm telling. So what are the primitive and non-primitive data type? Who can tell me?
So the original one is the primitive and the copy one is non-primitive.
No. Let's roll flashback to session number 1. So all your basic data types, such as integer, character, float, double, boolean, okay, byte, all these are what? Basic
Primitive.
primitive. And then your string and the
Array.
objects which we make string, array, okay, right?
Sir,
So,
voucher.
Sir, string may be in primitive or non-primitive, both now.
it can be argued, but when we use call by value, that I will come to know. So that time you can prove that string comes into non-primitive. So these are called as what?
Non-primitive.
Non-primitive.
So primitives, whenever you pass them as a parameter, will go as call by value. Will go as call by
Value.
non-primitive. When you pass to a function, will go as call by reference.
Reference.
Here, my question is now. Here, what am I passing? So you all see my screen.
Yes, sir.
So here, my question is, what am I passing over here as a parameter?
Primitive data.
Primitive data type.
So this will go as what? Which type? 1 or 2?
Call by value.
Call by value. And what happens in call by value is a Xerox of that is created. Okay.
Okay.
What is created? A
Xerox.
Xerox. So now what did I pass? This is the original n. So now with this programming, no, now with this program. Okay, so let me take a new sheet to understand this concept. So now how many functions am I having over here? How many functions am I having?
2.
2, which is that?
Main string,
And
check prime.
check prime. So I'll have 2 functions. So this is my main function. And this is my check prime function, correct?
Correct, sir.
So I have an integer n in main, correct? What is the value of that? So if let's say I tell the user enter a number, user enters 7. Where will that 7 go to?
In 10. Yes.
N of which?
Main. Main function.
Yes, sir.
Of which function?
So main string.
So it will go in main of go in main, right? Main's n.
Yes.
So now my n in main is having what value?
7.
Okay, so that is my original. That is my original. Okay, so I'll put it in red only. So the caller has the original value. Who has the original value?
The main.
Caller, not necessarily always caller will be main. Caller can be anyone, no? You know, Brazil was calling Argentina also. So now this is the original value of n, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now I am passing this n as a parameter to which function?
Check prime.
And now it is coming in this n over here. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So the condition over here is the type should match. What should match?
Type.
So n is a what type? The parameter I am passing is a what type?
Integer.
Primitive.
Here I am holding this in which type?
Integer.
So what should match?
Integer.
The data type should match. What should match?
Data type. Yes, sir.
So this can change. This can change. The variable name can change.
Yes, but data type should be
Type
same.
should change. Okay. So here if I am taking x, so wherever there is n, I'll replace with x, correct?
Yes, sir.
So now that n has come in which variable? In check prime.
So X.
In check prime, it has come in which variable?
X.
So x is the duplicate, the Xerox. Okay.
So the original one is N.
Yeah, and they both will have same values, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if in the prime function I change the value of x, I say x plus plus. What does x become?
8.
8. Will the original change?
No.
So
No.
Yes.
call by value, whatever modification is happening on the duplicate, a copy of that data. The
Yes, sir.
original remains intact.
If we take same name, same.
Same name also,
Name.
even then.
Okay.
Okay, so we can have a let's say if there are two neighbors, okay, flat number 1 and flat number 2, apartment number 1, apartment number 2, okay, and there is one person, Sahil, in flat number 1, and he is of a different family, and then the neighboring flat also has a Sahil, right, of flat number 2. So is it a possibility or no?
It can be.
Possible, right? Very much possible.
Right.
So if I keep the same variable name also, no, it should not be a problem because they both have different function. In the same function, I cannot keep two variables with the same name. So in the same house, you would not try to name two individuals with the same name. No, that one would do. But
Okay,
a
it's
different function
treated
you
as
can-
a different function, right, sir?
Different function it is there, you can have, no, not a problem. The logic will remain the same. Here, even though if you name it n or you name it x, the logic remains the same. So you want to revert back to n. So you can take the same variable name also, or you can take a different variable name, but the type cannot change. Okay, getting it? So the modification which is happening on which variable? So in the check prime function, I write this code that n equals to n plus 100. What I write now? So what came into n initially? Initially, what came into n? When I call the function, what came into n initially? When you get the Xerox copy, what does the Xerox copy contain?
Sir, here data integer
Yeah. So what is the value of that n when I call the function?
7.
7.
7.
7.
And then now you go and you write over here n equal to n plus 100. You're coding this in which function?
Sir,
Check.
check prime. It will become 107.
So what will happen? The black will become or the red will become 707.
Black.
The black.
The black will now update to 107.
Yes,
If
sir.
the red value change,
No.
why no?
Sir, basically,
Working on the duplicate. It is working on the
yes.
Duplicate. Yes.
duplicate. Okay. So if you want to see that, I'll just show it to you all. So I'll just take a simple, okay. And whenever we name a function, no, so we use the init cap, initial letter capital, okay. So if I want to name a function, let's say as Virat Kohli, how will I name it? Just the
V capital.
First letter will be small. Just the first letter will be small and all subsequent letters will be capital, okay. If I want to name a function called as Mahendra Singh Dhoni, how will I name him?
M small and Dhoni D capital.
Okay, S also capital and D also capital, correct?
Yes, sir.
This is a standard universal name of naming a function. Some developers also name the variable in the same way. Some developers, they use the same thing to name a variable also. So if you have a variable called temp salary, what you have a variable called as?
Salary.
Temp salary. So how will you name the variable as? Which font?
TM S capital.
How will we do that? Like this?
S capital.
Yes, S capital. So this is how they name variables and functions. This is the standard way. So try to follow the universal protocol. So now I will make a function called as call by value.
Sir, it is only in Java or in SQL.
All also Java, Python, .NET, standard.
Okay.
So now let me call a function. Okay. So let's do a demo on this only. Okay. Let's do a demo on this only. And we can just convert this to void because we're not doing any changes. So I'll just give the same function name. Okay. So this is not required. So now here n, what is the value of this n? If I enter 7, what is the value of n?
7.
So if I display before the function call, sys out before calling the function. What is the answer? 7.
7. Yes, sir.
And then I take this n over here, and when I do over here in function before modification. In function kya?
Before modification.
Before modification. What is the value?
And
What is the value? I entered 7.
then slash 7.
7. Then
7.
I add 100 to it.
107.
Hmm?
107.
107. Then I say in function after modification. What will it be?
So starting 7 and then 107.
And then I come back after the call, it come back to the function, right?
Yes, sir.
And then I say after calling the function. Okay, so I'll say in main before calling the function, in main after calling the function. Now, what is the output of this program? Tell me.
So its output is
7,
in
8,
main before calling
10.
function 7, and then in function before
mean, whatever-
modification 7, and then in function after modification 7107, and last one in main after calling the function 107.
107
Yeah.
is called by value. Whatever changes
So the
happened
7,
has
sir,
happened on this end.
last one is a 7, sir. In main after calling the function is 7. Last
Yes. So you are trying to say
7. There is a 7 and then 7
7,
and 7 and last one is 107
7 and 107, correct?
according to me.
What will be the output? Output will be, this will be first. Then we go to the function. Second, third, and then after coming fourth, right? Anyone not getting this?
That the fourth one will remain 7.
Yeah, because it is called by value, no? Whatever changes has happened on the Xerox copy. Original will not be disturbed.
Okay.
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 Now, if I run this code, enter a value. So let's enter 7. Let's enter 7. So see, in main before calling 7, that was the first. Then it came over here in function before modification 7. Then in function after modification 107 third. And then in main after calling the function 7. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So this was what example? Call by value. So if whenever I pass a primitive, so if I pass a double now, let's say if I pass a double. Okay, double is next double. Okay. And now I pass n to this. So what changes will I make over here at line number 18?
Double.
Double, because I'm passing. Okay. And now what would be the output? So now if I take 15.9, what would the output tell me now?
So 15.9.
15.9
double.
first. Then it comes here. Here what will it be?
1 of 15.9.
15.9. Okay. Then
Sir, 115.9.
then when it comes back over here, then
It will be 15.9.
okay, so you pass any primitive, it will work the same way. So as you pass a primitive, you will come to know that it is called by value. right? 15,
Yes, sir.
15. See over here, there's a 115, correct?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Okay, but now if I pass a non-primitive, okay, so non-primitive, it is called by reference. What is non-primitive?
String
Call by
object.
So
Yes.
what happens in call by reference is, have you all heard that fairy tale that there was a village and there was a witch which was haunting that village, and that witch was creating chaos in that village. It would dry up the crops, eat up the crops, eat up the cattle. So the villagers were fed up of that witch. But as she had magical powers, no one was willing to approach her and attack her because she could defend herself with her magical powers. So one fine day, the hero, the lead of that drama, of that story, is passing by the village, and then these villagers, they sit with that hero, and then they tell him their grievance, that the witch has haunted this village, and she is very notorious and creating havoc. So this, as he is the main hero, he says, okay, I will go and kill that witch and free you all from all this. So he goes to the jungle in search of the witch. So in the jungle, he sees a saint over there who is meditating over there. So he sees that, and this hero, he helps the saint in some work. Maybe he fetches water for him. So that saint is very happy with the service. He tells, yes, son, you ask what you want to ask and it will be offered. He says, I want the address of the witch. I want to go and kill that witch. He says, I am meditating here for the past 500 years and no one has dared to approach that witch. But if you want to go and kill her, the witch's life is in a parrot, he says, and that parrot is in a particular cave. So he gives the address of the cave to the hero, that you go to this cave, it is behind the mountains and behind the river somewhere. So in that river, in that cave, you will see a parrot. Then he gives a description. He is red color parrot with blah, blah, blah features. You find that parrot and you kill that parrot. The witch will die. So this hero now, he turns direction and then goes in search of the cave. In the cave, he sees the parrot. As soon as he shoots the parrot, here the witch also dies. Okay, and the villagers live happily ever after. So now, this witch and the parrot, what are they?
They both are the same functions.
So if I modify one, this also modifies, correct? If I kill one, other also dies, right?
Right.
That is called by reference. So if you make modification of that in the function, the original will also change. Getting it? So
Okay.
see over here. So now let's try with a string now, okay?
So we can have the example, for example, in our cell phone, we have bank application. If we buy something, so the amount will change in the bank website, I mean, as well, or in our cell phone application as well.
Yeah, perfect, correct. See, if you have an account in Chicago, okay? If you are in Chicago and you have an account in Chicago, okay, and that Chicago account is reflecting $1,000, correct?
Correct.
And then you go to New York, and then you, let's say someone who has just come newly and he doesn't know about technology. So he feels, okay, now I am in New York and let's go to the ATM and withdraw $500. He goes to the ATM and withdraws $500, thinking that when he goes back to Chicago, no one will come to know. And when he comes back to Chicago, he goes to the bank. He says, my balance, he says 500. So whatever transaction was done over here has reflected over here also, right?
Yes, sir.
So does that not reflect? Whatever happens in New York stays in New York. Is it that way?
Yes, sir.
No,
Won't
it will
the
reflect.
bank come to know about that?
As soon as you just withdraw the amount, the bank will know.
Yeah, so that is called call by reference. Okay, so one, you make modification anywhere. So even if he comes to New Delhi and withdraws the money from here, the equivalent dollar amount will be deducted, right? So you make modifications anywhere, the original will also be impacted. Correct?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Correct.
Yeah. So whenever you pass a non-primitive, that is the case. So let me check now. See, let me now take a string. Okay. Let's take. So what is the string name what is the string I've taken?
Alice.
Alice. Okay.
Alice.
So now if I say before calling name, so what would it come?
Sir Alice.
And then I call the
Before
generate function, I pass name. Name is a what type? String type. So I
String.
keep in string type. Okay. And then I say before modification what?
name,
Name. Then I change this to, let's say, now the original has changed. Now if I display this, then, and if I come here, so what do you think will be the output over here?
so first Alice,
Hmm?
then second Alice, third one is the Alice in the
Alice.
Wonderland.
Alice, then
Alice in the Wonderland, and the fourth one is Alice again.
only Alice.
No, sir. Alice in the Wonderland.
This will be what? This one.
Alice in the Wonderland, I think.
Because we are using a
Yes, sir.
non-primitive, right?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes.
Non-primitive is called by reference. So whatever changes happen in the function reflects
Yes,
the original
correct.
also, correct?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Alice in the Wonderland. Yes.
Okay, so here what I can do is I can use this name.concat. I can use name. Okay, so I'm just adding to the name, I'm adding this in Wonderland. Okay,
Okay.
so now let's try to run this. We'll give a space. Now let's try to run this. What happened? There's some error. I forgot the semicolon. What happened? It is taking Alice everywhere. Alice. First it displays this, then it passes over here, then it displays this. Okay. Then what we should have done is, okay, let's try this one.
Yes.
Let's try this. This will come to know what I can. So original Alice in Wonderland. Again, it comes to Alice over here. So this string is called by reference. String is called by reference.
Yes, sir. It should be in Wonderland.
Yeah, it should be in Wonderland. But that is why I use the concat function. Okay, let me try this. Okay, so whatever changes I make, I want the same reference back to it. Now this should string
See.
dot concat. So this is Alice, it makes the changes, but when it goes back over here, so string is what? In Java, string is called by reference. You all see my Chrome?
Yes, sir.
So let me check over here. Is string passed by reference? String objects are passed by reference. See, you see here?
Yes, sir.
Meaning that okay.
Yes, sir.
So what it is telling over here? There is, however, what is it telling over here?
Due to the immutability of strings.
Any changes made to the parameter, any changes made to the
Parameter.
within the function,
Function.
do not affect the original string.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
So
Yes,
if
sir.
it is passed by reference, but here is an exception. For strings, it is an exception. For string, it is an.
Exception. Yes, sir.
You understand this line? Can you just? It's very see how it's saying. However,
Yes, sir.
due to immutability of strings, any changes
Made to the parameter within the method or function. Yes, sir. Do not affect the original string. Same as.
yeah, same by call. Now let's check
Yes,
call
sir.
interval. Then we can use string buffer there. We can use, if string is not working, we can use string buffer.
Buffer. Not pass that. Yes, sir.
Do string
Yes,
buffer get
body.
passed by?
Pass.
Right. This also will cause. Okay, let's take on array. Let's take example on array.
Yes, sir.
We'll get on array. Okay, so let's take an array. So I take an integer ARR. Okay, 10, 20, 30. Okay. Now, what am I passing to the function? ARR. Okay.
Okay.
So, and I want to display the array, so I can say arrays dot to string and ARR. So before the calling function, it will show me 10, 20, 30, correct?
Yes, sir.
What do I pass to the check prime function? Array. So ARR is a what type?
Integer.
Is an array, right?
Yes, sir.
To replace this. Okay.
Yes.
Now I do the same. So what will it display me?
Same.
Same, right? And then now I just modify any of the variable. Let's say the index 1, I make to 200.
Okay.
So it was 10, 20, 30. Now it will become
Hmm.
what?
Sir,
Now it will become what?
10,
Here
10,
10,
230.
20, 30, right?
Yes, sir.
And I pass to it. Here what will it show?
10, 20, 30. Yes.
Then I modified this. So now what will it show?
10, 230.
When I come,
Yes.
what will it show me?
10, 230.
The array is
Non-primitive data type.
non-primitive, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's try to run this and check. This should help us. Yes, no, maybe.
Yes, sir.
Got
It's
it?
showing. Yes, sir.
10, 20, 30, 10, 30, 10, 230, 10, 230. Whatever changes
Yes.
in the function are reflecting
Into
back.
main. Yes, sir. Call by references.
In what? So whenever you pass a array
Yes.
It changes in that array. Even though if you change the name, if I change the name to BRR, now any problem?
No problem, sir.
What will the output now still?
It's same output.
Okay. So the name change doesn't matter much. Name you can change however time you want.
Yes,
Same.
sir.
The type should be the same. So this is
Yes. Return type.
value and call by reference. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Oh. Now one more thing I wanted to discuss was recursive function. Okay, very interesting and very useful. What is it called as what?
Recursive.
Recursive function. Okay. There was a movie of Farhan Akhtar called Karthik Calling Karthik. Heard of that
Yes, sir. Karthik calling Karthik. Yes.
What does this mean? What does this mean?
Karthik calling himself.
Yes. So normally what happens is, if this is Farooq's iPhone, and let's say this is Amir's Samsung. They're two individuals, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And Farooq will have Amir's number stored in his telephone directory, in his contact list, the black phone, correct?
Okay.
So select that number from his contact list, and then he will press the call button. Okay, whatever is the call button is there. So now who is calling whom?
The Farooq is calling Amir.
Farooq
Yes.
calling, right? One person calling another person.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's take second scenario. Black is which phone? Whose phone?
Farooq.
Farooq, okay. And now what is happening? Now what is happening?
I am calling my own number.
Yeah. So that is called as recursive call. That is called as what?
Recursive.
Recursive call. But now, sir, I am, let's say, Farooq Sheikh, and I am calling Farooq Khan.
Yes.
So I am calling the same, but with a different value. Correct?
Yes,
Correct.
sir.
Function name is same, but I'm calling another Farooq. So even though it is same name, but the value is different, right? The mobile number is different, correct? The Farooq
Correct.
number might be what? +1 108, some number like this. And Farooq Khan might have a different number. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
So one, even though the name is same, the value is different, correct? So in recursive call, we call the same function, but with a lesser value, with a lesser or a different value. With a lesser or a
Different value.
different value. Okay. That is called as your recursive function. So now let's do example on that.
Sir,
So
the value should be lesser. It cannot be greater, or it can be greater.
yeah, it can be greater, less, or different. It's a different value, right? Just a different value. Now that different value,
Alright.
whatever you feel like, well, lesser
Yes, sir.
or whatever. That is not. It should be different. That's the only criteria. Depending on the logic, if you are incrementing, you can pass greater value also. you are decrementing you pass a lesser value also. Okay. So what happens in this is, it's like climbing a mountain. Okay. So you keep on climbing. Once you reach the summit, once you reach the peak, and you hoist the flag over there. Okay. Once you know these mountaineers, they have this habit of hoisting their country's flag at the summit. So once you go and reach the summit and you hoist the flag, after hoisting the flag, it is all downwards, right? Then there is no further climbing. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
That is all downhill. So what happens in recursive function call is, you keep on calling the same function. Keep on calling the same function till you reach a base case. Till you reach a okay. Till you reach a base case, and after that it is all returning. It is all what?
Returning. So what is the base case, sir?
Yeah, that varies from program to program. I'll show you what is the base case. The base case varies from program to program, program specific. So every program might have a different base case. Okay. Okay. Then this was one I wanted to show. Then are you all aware of what is a stack? What is a stack data structure? We haven't covered that, but are you all aware of it? I will heard it somewhere.
Yes, sir. Last in, first out.
Yes, stack is
Last in, first.
LIFO data structure.
Yes, sir.
What is stack?
Last in, first out.
LIFO, last in, first out.
First.
Take an example
Yes.
of stack. So let's say this is the masjid, okay?
Sir, last in what?
First out. In out,
Okay.
in out.
In, out.
Out. Last and first. Just two opposites we are using. Last in, first out. Okay. So let's assume this is the masjid, and this is the entrance of the masjid. Okay. So whoever are coming are occupying the seats from here. Okay. They are coming and sitting over here. This row is filling up. So this is the member. This is the imam. This is the imam, right? So how do we make this up? Then second, people will come and start sitting in the second row. Then third row, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now this person, this gentleman who comes the last, sits over here near the exit, correct? Now once the namaz is done, who leaves the masjid first?
Who comes last?
Who came in last is going out first.
Yes, sir.
This is the logic of stack. Okay. Then you can also take example of the woman wearing bangles. So if this is assuming a hand of a woman and she is wearing bangles, so first she wears the blue bangle, then she wears the green bangle, and then she wears the red bangle. So now while wearing, which bangle came in first?
The blue one.
While removing, which angle will go out first?
Red one.
So the bangle which came in last goes out first, right? This is the logic of stack. So in recursion, no, we use stack. We use what?
Stack.
In general, the function calling is stack. Yes. So in general, also function calling uses stack. So the example which I took yesterday, that main calling Brazil and Brazil calling Argentina, right?
Yes, sir.
So let's say I take n over here as 10, and then what is happening over here? Which function is calling which function?
Main function calling Brazil.
Now who's calling whom?
Brazil calling Argentina. Brazil.
So now who's calling whom? Tell me now over here. Yes, guys.
Yes.
The main calling Brazil, Brazil calling Argentina,
Okay.
and Argentina calling integer.
Calling integer. No. You
No,
call
no.
it has declared an integer.
Declare integer. Yes.
Correct.
Yes,
So
sir.
program execution always starts from main. Always starts from main. So
Yes, sir.
the first function which is entered is your main. Okay.
Yes, sir. Correct.
And whatever local variable it has, that has been given memory of. So n has how many local variables?
Yes.
N has how many local variables?
One.
What is that? Which is that variable?
10.
What is the value of
10.
that?
So the variable is n, and the value is 10.
Yes.
Now, in one more example of stack, you can think of this is a table. Okay, this is a table, and I put a textbook over here. The first textbook I put is of history. Which textbook?
History. Yes.
The next textbook I put is of science. And the third textbook I put is of maths.
Okay.
So when I remove the textbooks, which textbook will I remove first?
Maths.
Hmm?
Maths, sir.
Maths, right? Because we are following a stack logic over here.
Yes,
Similarly,
sir.
the first function which comes in, which function? So the
Sir,
first
I got the example, math, science, history, but in the programming which you have write void main integer, can you explain it a little bit? I mean, what is going on there?
which one?
Sir, the void main integer n is equals to 10. I mean, the programming you have wrote on the left. So what we are doing here, I mean, what will be the output?
There won't be any output because I'm not displaying anything. This is just function calling which is happening. This we had taken yesterday. If you watched yesterday's video, no, Farooq, you will understand.
Sir, here is first Argentina is calling Argentina.
Neither are we calculating, nor are we displaying anything. So there will not be any output of this code. I just
Yes,
want to
sir.
show you how functions interact with each other. So the first function which is pushed on the stack, this is called as the stack, okay?
Yes, sir.
Take a black stack. So this is your stack, okay? So the first function which goes onto the stack is always main. Which function? Which function goes in first always?
Main.
What? Main. Yes, sir.
Main.
Public
Main
void.
always goes first. Then main
Yes.
to this function.
Brazil.
Okay, so the next function will be popped is pushed. So when you add something to a stack, it is called push. It is called what?
Push.
So now which
Push.
function will be pushed now next?
Brazil.
Okay, so Brazil will be pushed. And what is the local variable of Brazil over here?
M equal to
So that
100.
is the memory over here, whatever local variable it has. M equals so much? 100, correct?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Okay, now if over here, can Brazil have N also? Any problem?
No.
Scope of variable? Any conflict with this n? So there is n over here also. Will this not conflict with this n? Will it conflict?
No, sir.
This n is a flat number 1, right?
Yes, sir.
And this n is a flat number 2. Any problem? They
No.
are from two different families, correct?
Yes, sir.
No conflict,
Correct.
correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got it. Yes, sir. No problem.
And I have over here n again,
Yes, sir.
but that is local to which function?
So Brazil.
Brazil.
100 is local to Brazil, right?
Yes.
Then Brazil is calling which function?
Argentina.
So one more
Argentina.
entry will be made. So on each function call, one stack entry is made. On each function call, one stack entry is created. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So now as you make a function call, so now there's a function call happening over here because Brazil is calling Argentina.
Yes, sir.
So one more stack entry will be created by what name?
Argentina.
What is the local variable for Argentina?
K.
500.
So that
Yes.
getting, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now if I don't use void in Argentina and I use int over here, means
Okay.
what?
Return type is int. It will give
Int. It will give a
int.
int, right?
Yes. Integer value. Yes, sir.
And now if I say over here, while before, so I have to give an integer value in return, correct?
Yes, sir.
So if this now says return k, return what? Return what?
K.
K, correct?
Yes, sir.
And what I am doing is whatever this Argentina is returning, I am adding that to my n over here. Whatever this Argentina is returning now, I will add it to my n. So now what will my n become?
500.
Yes.
600.
So now whatever what is Argentina giving me?
Yes, sir.
500.
So 500 will come here, correct?
Brazil.
So this 500 will come here
Yes,
and
sir.
will get added to whom?
Brazil.
100.
The 100, correct?
100. Yes.
So this n now will be, I have got
600.
when I called Argentina, it gave me 500.
Yes, sir.
Called Argentina, correct?
Yes.
And Argentina on the return gave it 500. So now what is the value of this n now? What is the value of
600.
n?
600.
So now if I display the n over here, what will be the output?
600.
600, correct?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
And now Brazil gives its
You
n
show
to
int n equal to 100 and equal to Argentina.
Plus,
So
plus,
equal to sir, to here is plus sign now.
plus, sorry. My bad. Okay, plus. So now what is the value? What is the SOP over here? When I do SOP n, what will be the output? 600.
600.
And then I return that n over here. So what is this Brazil returning?
600.
Integer. So this will be int Brazil now. And then I do that over here now. So whatever Brazil is returning, add that to my n. Whatever Brazil is returning, add that to my n. So now what will be the value of n over here? And if I
610.
do
Plus
SOP,
610.
if I do SOP n, what is the output?
610.
610. Sir, but first time when the program start, so it will display as 10, 100,
Not display,
then
no.
500.
When the function call will be there, when the function call will be there, directly it will jump to that function. It will not go
Okay.
at this line. So whenever there is a function call, one stack entry is created and the program transfers to that stack. So first we
Okay,
started
got
with plain, Then as main called Brazil, the control will transfer to Brazil stack. So this
Got
line
it, sir.
will not be executed now. Okay. When Brazil was called, so Brazil has a local variable 100, and then Brazil is calling Argentina, correct?
Correct.
What is Argentina returning you?
500.
That 500 comes and gets added to your local variable. So what that your local variable becomes?
600.
So this red is called function calling, and the green is called returning. It's calling what? Green is
Return.
called. See over here, right? So
Right.
you
Yes,
can
sir.
you can identify it in this way. So
So I mean, it is going to display directly to 500 and 610.
red is your just calling,
Yes, sir.
and now your green. Now I'm doing what? Green. So we are just returning. Now it will Argentina will return to whom?
Brazil,
And
Brazil.
Brazil will return to whom?
main.
Main.
This is your returning part. Once it reaches, so when the base case is reached in your recursion, it starts. This is not recursion. This is not recursion. Okay, this is a simple how functions interact.
Yes, sir.
Now we'll keep on returning and we'll come back to main then. And now once it comes back to main, then this line will be executed of 610.
Yes, sir.
Shabana, got this logic, Shabana? How this was working internally?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Farooq.
Yes, sir. Sir, I need to ask that it is not going to display the initial value, but
No.
it will display the
I have
value
not
after
displayed the
returning.
initial value. We have not displayed. So as
Yes.
the function call over here, you should directly jump to that function. And on the return, it will display the value. So when this returns
Okay.
600 to it, it will add the 600, right?
Right.
And will then display 610 to you.
Sir, what is the base case here?
Yeah, this is not recursion. No, this is a simple one function is calling another function. This is not recursion.
Okay.
This is just I want making a build up to recursion. Recursion happens when Brazil calls Brazil.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Brazil is
The
calling
same Argentina here.
main is calling.
Brazil.
Brazil.
So when you call the same function, that is called recursion.
Yes, sir.
So to understand recursion, we should understand how functions call each other and how they return.
Will you give a
What
short history of
Now
recursion, sir?
let me code this and explain it to you all. Okay. So we came to main first. So understood call by reference. Okay.
Right,
Now,
sir. Sir, one more thing. You have told earlier, but can you tell me again what is the significance of writing a main at the beginning of the program?
main normally in Java we make a separate class for main and write. It is not necessarily that write in the beginning only. You can write main anywhere you want. See, this is your main, right? So I can take the main and put it at the end also. That is not the problem. Okay, the program will still execute fine. So there is no particular place for main, but in enterprise applications, your main should be a separate class. Okay, there will be a separate class for main. There is no proper geographical location for that. So I just empty this now and empty this also. So now my first, what did I do? I took an integer n, made it what? 10, correct?
Correct.
10. And then I called a function over here called as
Brazil.
Okay. So then we went to
Then return.
Brazil, right? Which would give me an integer, right?
Right.
Any arguments? And then what would this Brazil function do?
Call
Brazil would take his local variable integer n as 100 and then call which function?
Argentina.
Argentina. And then what would Argentina do?
it was
Argentina
integer.
would return me a value, right?
Right.
Argentina would just return me 500.
Yes.
100 would come over here. And now what would n become now? So now when I return n, what is the value of n over here now?
600.
600.
Now when I this 600 plus 10, how much?
610.
Now when I sys out n, what is the output we will get?
610.
Simple program, correct?
Yes, sir.
Is this recursion? What 610? Is
Right,
this
sir.
recursion?
No.
This is not recursion. When will this look like recursion? When I will do something like this.
Argentina calling Argentina or Brazil calling Brazil.
Remove Argentina, not required. And now at line now, this is recursion. What is this?
Recursion.
This is your recursion, correct? But Brazil will call Brazil with a lesser value or greater value, was right? We have to have a base case also, correct?
Yes, sir.
So this is infinite recursion. If I do this, there is no base case.
Infinite.
Infinite. So they have to be a peak, right? They have
Yes, sir.
to be a peak for the mountain. If there is no peak, it will keep on climbing till the moon.
Yes, sir. Infinity. Yes.
Yeah, you need to infinity. Okay. So now let's think of recursion now. So you all got the logic of how functions call each other, function stack, local variables of the functions. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let me show you all what is now recursion. Guys, just give me a 5 minutes breather. I'll be back. Okay.
Sure, sir.